Hey there, Lisa here with New Start University, and I want to talk to you about something. I had posted on my page earlier asking if I was a responder or a reactor. Now, anybody that knows me, that was really a trick question because I am by far a reactor. I am fly by the seat of my pants and so many different things, and definitely a reactor. And it hit me the other day. I was actually talking to a friend of mine on the phone, and we were talking about schedules and how busy, crazy our schedules are, and how we're always on the go. And I made a comment to her that my son right now, he's 8, and he loves getting to school early to play with some of his friends prior to school. So when I say early, I mean school starts at 7:30, and he's wanting to get there at 7:40 or at 6:45. And that's sometimes hard to do. I mean, look at me today. That's how much I accomplished before I took him to school today, and I still haven't accomplished much more than that. But we were talking about that, and I said, it's such a challenge. And she said, I'll tell you what's a challenge. It was like 8:15, and I was still laying in bed and hadn't woke my son up for school. And I started laughing. I was like, oh my gosh, I would freak out because, I don't want my kids to be late. I said, what did you do? And she said, well, I figured we were already late, and he's at the age where he can drive himself to school. So when, I went and woke him up, and I handed him $5 and told him to go get a healthy breakfast, so at least he'd be full, and then go on into school. As much as I would love to say that I would have responded like that in that same situation, that is just not true. This is how it would have went down with me. My alarm clock would have went off. I would have realized that I had snoozed it or I overslept, whatever. I would have jumped out of bed in a panic, ran upstairs trying to pull clothes over my head, hollering at the kids to get out of bed, get out of bed, get out of bed, hurry up, hurry up. Probably wouldn't be as gentle with them as I would have liked to have been. Got their, kind of thrown them their breakfast as they were running out the door, and all the way to school, I probably would have been driving way too fast, and they would have known I was frustrated, and I would have, pushed them out the door and told them to have a great day. Now, who do you think probably had a better day at school that day? Do you think her son probably had a better day at school, or do you think my son would have? Obviously, her son. And it's because she has the presence of mind to stop and respond instead of just reacting. And I've been doing a lot of research on this lately because I don't know if it's the way we're wired or if it's a learned trait. But I remember specifically another time, the same friend, she just has a presence of mind that she thinks before she speaks, and she doesn't have the knee-jerk reaction that I tend to have. I remember specifically, I was having a disagreement with my son. We had been disagreeing for quite a while about an issue. Her and I were at lunch together, and my phone went off, and it was him repeatedly asking me about a certain thing. And I grabbed my phone, and I was about ready just to fire off this response to him. And she knows me well enough. She just looked at me and held out her hand and asked me to give her. She didn't even ask. She just held out her hand, and I knew it was coming, so I handed her my phone. She calmly typed out a message to my son as if it were me, and it was firm but very thoughtful, and it got her point across without compromising, the value that I was trying to uphold. And let me tell you, that was a pivotal moment because the way she responded to my son, because she took time to think through it, was pivotal, and his response back was so much more favorable than it would have been had I had my way and just fired off that, text. And it amazes me that she's able just to stop and have that peace of mind. And my husband is the exact same way. I will be talking to him and I'll be all worked up about something, and I'm like, well, did you hear me? Did you hear me? And I'm wanting him to respond, and I get crickets. And I'm like, Mike, I'm talking to you. What do you think about that? I'm wanting him instantly to have a reaction like I do, a knee-jerk reaction. And that doesn't happen. Because I finally learned that, yes, he does hear me, as much as he probably wishes he didn't, but that he's processing what it is that I'm saying, and he's thinking through all the steps before having a reaction. And that is something, once it's out there, and you can't take it back. And there's been so many different things that I wish I would have responded to instead of reacted to, because I've had to go back and say, especially with my children, hey, I'm sorry I handled that this way, this is what I should have done, or, things like that. And it can definitely hurt relationships. You come back feeling so much worse about a situation. And half the time when you react instead of respond, you're kind of just borrowing trouble. So today on my blog, which I'll be posting here on Facebook shortly, we're going to kind of break down if you are a responder or if you're a reactor, and how to become a responder. Because I guarantee you that you're going to be much happier and have much better relationships if you can learn to be a responder versus a reactor. So stay tuned. I'll be posting that on Facebook here shortly, and I'd love to hear your comments. So if this enlightened you in any way, or if you have anything to say about it, we can always learn from each other. So feel free to drop a comment either here or over at my blog. And my website is newstartuniversity.com. Have a good day.